Jihad. Oh my God. I might have watched that shit today. Niggas gonna cry. Oh man.
That is under their full control.
Who am I but shot down? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground. My crown flash out. So my big crowd still spit. Can't be tied down, you receive belted. On the down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked the cause, my hand, I dealt it. Felt it vibrate through the gut of my pelvic. You bust balls, somebody just felt shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. My heart, body for real monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, is a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify. A real man, I still stand with the still hand. But we're healer man. It's not Cypress Hill. I'm Turtle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie. I don't follow our set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners. I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm data space AC, y'all. Bust stuck in the case, face off. Active shape, state use your fate, they fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern.
This is all man. Smoke man. Like slime.
Talking about the suppressed rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that scared are the oppressed. The only people who have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Nope.
y'all. He was in his black moments, all right? It's all good. There you go, Turtle. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, Lance. What's happening, y'all? Three more people come in and be like, yo, what's up? What's cracking? What's cracking? Pressure. No way, lesser. Me, no surrender. That was the 90s period, you know what I'm saying? No way, lesser. Drop the oppressor.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean an ideal sense. I mean every day, every little thing we do is such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know,
Andy, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking? What's going on? Man, look crazy, right?
Push.
I had my hair out. I was looking in the mirror. It's still kind of red. I was like, oh, man. So it's growing back and really good, too, back here. But, I was thinking about cutting. I ain't cutting not no time soon. Nothing, you know? Whenever I take zinc or B vitamin, I get like a funny ass feeling. Shee! Aki way! Shee! It's like 17, 18 mile per hour wind right now, y'all. We're gonna get a little reap. I'm gonna take y'all for a little walk real quick, all right? Don't fall over. Oh shit. Read this one, and then we're gonna go over a couple of stories. Communicate about a few things I want to tell y'all, okay? I got on my damn Air Force Ones, ain't even 3 months old and already about red as this goddamn dirt out here. Let me run up on this one right here. That damn thing is sticking. So, turn around. So we gotta get another piece right here. But you see, T was up here knocking all this out right over here. So we got everything covered in. Now we just gotta run. We gotta let me see. Where's it at? Let me see. They left down there. It's ToLU'S. We got 3 boards. We got a tree. What the fuck? It might be in the back. Let me see if it's in here. I thought it was part of here. Let's see if I can truck. I'll show you when it's down there. Is that it? Yeah, it's downstairs. So these clouds are going to be going up on top here. It's about 12, more than enough. Okay? So you see the R19, you got to pick up like this. I think we're going to line up. If the wind slows down, it's supposed to slow down in a few hours. Start lining them up. The first 4 boards will go down. If this is more than enough to get that done, so we might do that today. Okay? That's the jackhammer and stuff right there, and the drills. Scraps, we're going to need the scraps, all the scraps. I think it might be in the back of the truck. So yeah, we did a little work. T came up early yesterday, and he was knocking that side out. He was getting it in. Like you see, that's what I like, man. When you know how it's laid out, whatever, you can do it however you choose. That's the beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's never gonna be wrong. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Oh, it's still in the back. Okay. I know, right. It's gonna be a home on the back of this motherfucker, but right now, that's what you're saying. So, I think mine's in the better shape than that. So this is the silicone. This is window and door. This is 100% waterproof. The GE. This is what we're going to be using around that bottom, and also it'll help to keep out like spiders or stuff like that. Come on now. Oh, that wants to open. Close, fool. I ain't got my fob. Yeah, I'm sitting there going, I know damn well that they better close. But yeah, I just want to show you that. So I got 3. I was supposed to pick up some more. I forgot. I get out there in a moment, so I don't, I'll be thinking about a whole lot. So I'm probably gonna need about 2 more just to get a good feeling. I didn't record it, so I said I'd take it up and show you post. You know what I mean? Hey, Shine, what's up, man? Let's see what else is up there. So I'm gonna read some stories. First, I wanted to talk about sitcom movement. Yo, this is dude. He's on camera. His name was Garcia. Before that, it was a system, fat lip, duty, bottom, monkey. Anyway, that's the only nice way to put it. A dude was deceased on the R train. I patrolled that train when I was a guardian angel. D train, 6 train, 2, whatever, whatever. Usually if somebody's unresponsive, from what I hear, he didn't look homeless, but you never know, okay? Well, the big girl, the fat girl, because everybody's on that time, sadly. I didn't rifle this body, so I thought these trains by now was cameras. That's one thing about Japan. This government, this ADL, this APAC has really, and this worthless, punk, weak government, I don't know how these young people want to go to war for these worthless sacks of crap. I guess y'all not doing your job to make the children known, and that's why racism is done. And maybe the incubator, maybe the time it's the same thing. Actually, that's not the case, but this Spanish I don't know what it is. There's a lot of migrants, but they know his name to be Garcia. This sick bastard arrived through the pockets, realized he's probably dead. And please don't show. He orally and he anally raped this. We call that necrophiliac, and that's a genetic darkness. In that commodity of stupidity, right? How many of y'all been noticing this? Like, you go back 15, 20 years, the blue skies were blue. Now, I'm not saying it's well, I'm asking how many of you are paying attention and not so busy. Me and Omek were talking about that. We've been communicating. We don't talk. Talking is that, you know what I'm saying? We communicate. I was fucking with T here about the wind, It's communicate. It's all fun, you know what I'm saying? It gets me tickled, How many of you have been paying attention and seeing it for what it is? Y'all the ones that's allowing this to happen. Okay? Excellent book. I would advise y'all to buy it, purchase it. Okay? I'm not reading it. I like to read. Y'all know that. Now, my apologies. I'm going to pick it up. All right? That way, you get it or you don't. I like to read, the Navy SEAL Mr. Ball, and there's a few people, but then I have, I'm a storyteller too. But I like, for good or bad, I like different stories. Mostly I'm really into short stories. But then there are the ones that are phonetically long. I'm into those, and those are the ones I read so I can be able to tell them and give my own pitch. But I also like stuff who lived in real life haunted houses, trials, that you know, that shock stuff. You know, by the narrative, like you know, what was that one where the woman was getting X'd up, you know, by the ghost spirit? That was crazy when I saw the uncut version. I was like, how did they do that? They must have had somebody really wearing a green suit or something, blue suit, and he was really getting with it, and they had to blank him out. And because I watched the uncut version, you know, I'm like, no man, she was getting hammed up for real. Like, but anyway, right? When I'm talking about nymphomaniacs, but I'm just saying. So I have these stories that I read, right? And I like I said, I'm big into stories. But first, I wanted to cover something that could be a little don't if you have any kind of relationship to this, don't take it personal. And I'm not here to ask you to out yourself or nothing like that. Not at all. I just feel like people don't know about this, and this is one of the things in sociology that I study. I had a nice where I can see everything. And this Google with the anyway. So I was able to read this real good. Let me make sure the screen's light. It's all the way bright. I might have to take this thing off because it's all scratched up anyway. Anyway, I remember it was very blue sky. Yeah, right, Andy? I asked everybody. I guess y'all have a hard time responding. I ain't asked y'all to be super texters, but I guarantee each one of y'all text faster than I do. Anyway, I was looking over something when I've been studying this. Y'all know that the guy who murdered and raped that 3-year-old kid, 2022 or whatever, you know, they found him unalive, okay, in prison. So first I want to read this, okay, it's an overview, okay. Their cases, adopted siblings who were not raised together have married after discovering their biological relationship through DNA testing. This has led to legal and emotional complications, as incest is generally illegal and considered. Now, what's funny is the fake crown and all these things, that's all incest, you know? This has led to legal and emotional complications, as incest is generally illegal and considered a felony. One example is the case of the couple who discovered they were half siblings after 13 years of marriage and having 2 children. Another instance involved twins who were separated. And now these are stories. There are so many of them. There was this one I had to read. This is on the flip coin of this. Hey, baby Snoop, what's up, mama? My sexy. This one right here, that's like, it's a story. All right, this is the beginning of it. This is kind of contrary to that part of people finding out. Remember the sister who was sexing up her, I guess, soon-to-be husband, kind of younger than her, Cooper? And they've been doing it for a minute. I was reading some back things in BET or whatever the heck about that. You know, they broke it up, but I think they were still filming. I mean, it's weird. And come to find out, that was her son that she put up for adoption. Y'all remember that? That's something pretty nasty by the definition of religion, right? And a number of other things. That is not good in this time and age. And it's not good because they make you feel some kind of way. Me, I don't feel some kind of way. It just shouldn't happen. It's not the way it should not be happening. But it is another part, once you accept the religion and everything else, that you shouldn't be partaking in. But this is something that it's ongoing. I've heard people went out there to get their stuff, got their groove on, and unbeknownst to them, they out there for some reason. They call it a chemical attraction, but it's something within the genome thing where son or daughter is missed. With this guy, when have a good time in Texas. And when he was like 15, 16, he went to the military and everything, but he had him and his girl got pregnant, and they didn't abort. Thank you, but they put the baby up for adoption. Well, some 32 years later, you know, he retired from the military. He short stint as a cop, but you know, he liked to go out partying, so he just enjoyed the full retirement, his pension and stuff. He's at the police force and everything, and he's out there partying, having a good time with sisters, and he was just attracted to this one beautiful young lady. You know, he was about, you know, 15 years a senior, so that's not really, you know what I mean? Dallas, or Fort Worth, but they were partying in Dallas, and that's where he met her. And he was just rocking that boat for about 2-3 years. No pregnancy, no, just all the time. Just their whole thing was out there. No, it was the greatest thing, you know, with this sewn in ball weave, whatever, you know. And he was like, she wanted a baby. So, you know what? He wasn't snip. They went there testing. Nurse came back in the room after, you know, when they went back for tests. They needed them to come back. So they went back and said, we had to pull some documents and stuff. And he was like, okay. I said, hey, how long y'all been doing that? Y'all want to have a baby? No, it may not be the best bet. And he's like, why? And then the daughter's sitting there like, what's going on? Well, that's your biological daughter. These are some real stories out there, y'all. This system was built upon perversion, not truth. Okay, I gotta say it for what it is, okay? But then we have this other one. August 2nd, 2018. I married my Debbie Zootown, 50, got more than she expected. She found a long lost brother. Here, Debbie tells the story in her own words. Seeing my doctor for a routine checkup, I waited for the dreaded question that I knew was coming. What's your family history like? Yes, I sighed. The story. Adopted at 3 weeks old, my birth parents, John and Mary, just been married when they had fallen pregnant with me. And due to my mom's strict Catholic upbringing, she wasn't allowed to raise me. I had an incredible childhood with a lovely couple who adopted me, along with my adopted brother. But despite having a loving family, I couldn't help thinking there was something missing. So when I was 35, I hired a private investigator to find my birth family. After 6 months, they were successful. And amazingly, my parents were happy to meet me. Seeing my birth mom, she pulled me into a big room. And when I met my dad, he retrieved a grainy photo from his wallet. It was me as a baby. I've carried this since the day you were born, he said. He also told me I had a half-brother called Jill from his second marriage. So, same bloodline with the pops. Around a year later, I was at a family party when my uncle introduced me to Joe. Locking eyes with him, the world seemed to stop. Nice to meet you, he beamed. At that, a strange feeling washed over me. You know, the butterfly thing. It wasn't one of brotherly love. It was like love at first sight. I know, taboo. I was horrified. He was my brother. We were related by blood. After a quick chat, I left the party early. But Joe, I can't hardly see the screen, but Joe had got my number, and when he asked me to dinner the next day, I agreed. After that, he asked, can I see you again tomorrow? And getting ready, I took my time doing my makeup and spritzing perfume. I'm acting like I'm going on a date. I realized, I'll get a grip, I told myself. But at the restaurant, there was an unmistakable chemistry. At 23, Joe was 12 years younger than me, but he seemed to feel the same way I think. The same way, excuse me. Not the same way. I think you're beautiful, he admitted. Chatting away, we confessed we both had feelings for each other. Not wanting the night to end, I invited Joe back to my place. Half of me felt disgusted as we inched towards each other on the sofa, but the other half desperately wanted to see what was going to happen next. Soon we were schmoozing, kissing, whatever you want to call it. And then we went to the bedroom. It didn't feel strange at all. In fact, it felt natural. But the next morning, I was so ashamed. The morals, right? When Joe left, I frantically searched the internet for other cases like ours. And I soon realized we weren't the only ones. Oh my God, there's so many out here. It's sickening. This had happened. They weren't the only ones that it happened to, okay? Let's put it all in this roundabout. There was even a term for it, GSA, genetic sexual attraction. I read about it in sociology. It's when two family members grow up apart, but meet as adults and are sexually attracted. And not a weirdo app. She says, I can't hardly see it. I'm not a weirdo after all, I thought. A week later, Joe moved in with me. We led people to believe we were siblings catching up on lost time. Another lie. Anyway, behind closed doors, we were leading a double life as a couple. Every time I tried to bring it up, with Joe, he would instantly dismiss it. But I needed to talk to someone so I could confide. So I confided in my adoptive mom. Sounds like England, right? I've known for ages, Debbie, she said. I've just been waiting for you to tell me. It was such a relief that you have. Now, in 2012, when we'd been together for 9 years, bumping uglies. Anyway, Joe and I decided to move interstate. No one knows we are brother or sister. Joe said, let's just introduce ourselves as a couple. It was so liberating to finally. Sadly, our birth dad passed away before we had the chance to tell him. But slowly we confessed to more family and friends until everyone but my adoptive dad knew. I was just too terrified of what he'd think. Then one day, Joe and I were gazing out to the ocean. Incestually sweet. Let's get married, he said to me. They must have been bumping uglies a long time. Those dumb people get married after bumping uglies. Anyway, we went to the registry office to make things official. They actually have a picture of her and Joe, and it's not yeah. A few days later, on October 3rd, 2015, we got hitched. Although it's illegal to marry a sibling, we were chill in love to care. And because we had different surnames, and a lot of melanated families have dealt with this, they just don't know it. The registrar didn't realize we were related. When we got home, I knew it was time to reveal the truth to my adoptive dad. I'd been keeping it a secret for 10 years by now, and my hands shook as I dialed his number. I've got something to tell you, Pops. I began, Joe, Deb, if you're happy, I'm okay with it, he said. He didn't work for ass in here. It was so liberating. We held a second wedding ceremony a few weeks later. All of our family celebrated with us. It felt like confirmation that see what I'm talking about, that confirmation stuff? Loved ones accepted Joe and I for who we were. Now we don't care what others think. We've been together for 15 years and married for almost 3, with neither of us wanting children. We're happy as a family of 2. Now, people might think it's strange, and I get that. But if they met us, they'd understand that we're just normal people. This is some Zionist pushing stuff. You can't help who you fall in love with. And as long as we're both happy, that's all that really matters. No, that's worse than that. And this is an actual picture of them. I could save it and everything. That's them right there with the in-laws. That's a real picture. Yes, you know. Now, no. Did this Mughal emperor marry his married his own daughter, Johanna, because he thought she resembled Text. Get off my screen, fool. Thank you. They always trying to sell something. Anyway, the king would be the one to marry his daughter. Must have surprised you when you learned which one had married his own daughter. We were speaking of the well-known Indian Hindustan Mughal emperor who, following the passing of his spouse, wed his own daughter. At the Mumtaz died, Shah Jahan, the Mughal emperor who constructed the Taj Mahal, married his own daughter Johanna, because he thought she resembled Mumtaz. While giving birth to Shah Jahan's 14th child, Mumtaz passed away on June 17, 1631. Hindustan first. I'd played out from there. You see, he's a Hindu with the name Shah. Anyway, when Mumtaz passed away, Jahanara was just 17 years old, and Shah Jahan had just lost his mind. In remembrance of Mumtaz, Shah Jahan wed Jahanara, his real daughter, because she bore an exact resemblance to Mumtaz. That's what usually happens with your first children, okay? And successfully, the succeeding ones in the bloodline. Now, Jahanara did not object to the marriage because she was also deeply disturbed by her father's situation. Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan had a second child named Jahanara. Jahanara was a bright, devout Muslim who also understood a lot about politics, as I reports. Some of you might think that Islam was a part of Hindustan. How do you think? You know what I'm saying? Pakistan and all those places came to be. Shah Jahan gave Jahara the title of Pasna Begum. Anyway, in order to conceal their marriage and prevent slander. Okay? Aurangzeb became resentful of his father for his constant mischief. This was the rationale behind the imprisonment of his father, Shah Jahan, and the assassination of his own brother Bahra Khan in order to ascend to the throne. This chapter of history was concealed to keep it out of the public eye because the British took over after the Mughals. However, such accusations have been dismissed by modern historians as gossip, as no witness of an incident has been mentioned. Now, there is a painting y'all can point up, and you can see the individuals. You can't see if I turn around and show it to you, it's too dark. All right. Portion of the painting is that show you who they are. You know what I mean? And you already have a kind of good idea of the crown of your Britain, right? We'll share that story later on. All right. These are the crazy stories. I'm going to say these. There's 10 of them, and I want to read each one of them to you. They're short ones, and I'm not going to do that here. These are the other side of the island. Then we have some real spooky ones, other than the weird and insane. I only seek out the true ones, the ones that I've heard about or something like that, the ones that I look for in my travels. I've heard a lot of stories. I've got a lot of them off the top of my head, but I want to read some of the foundation because this is another venue that I'm like into telling stories, like the Prohibition Beater and all that kind of stuff, Camp Muncie, Bear Mountain, based on autochthonous Indian narratives and stuff. Hey, Fat Mama, I think that it would be another little thing that, I like telling stories. I'm a historian, but I like telling stories. Mamma mia. Get it down. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Well, the first one was pretty harsh because it's right now, and it's pretty perverse. Okay, yet you can look it up. I don't know if it's out in the media or not. Maybe some of you heard about it. I was just taken aback because I used to patrol those trains and those streets in New York, and we did help. Oh man, we helped out. We helped out so much. I can't even go into it because it would almost seem like it's egotistical. Hey, baby, go Slaughter, what's up? T-Bone's in there. Let me see who else is. Anybody else? Hey. Okay, let me see. All right. Let's see. All you gods and goddesses. Hey, 7 grams. Yo, what's up? Tell the old lady I said what's up too, fam. Jason, talk about what's cracking, bro. What's good? What's good? What's happening? What's happening? You been on? Let me see. It is disgusting. Yeah. Well, don't let your feelings and emotions, the moral significance, we find it disgusting based on sexualization. What people don't know, and I have to state this, during Tartary, was that a big thing? Not what I've read. I have not really found it. Of course, there are those who want to push it back to before that, and I keep telling you, they created a fake history. All right. So this is a new perversion. It was something that actually happened in Germany as well. Hitler didn't like it. Okay. And you already know because some of you have actually purchased or been reading the Talmud. You've gone over some of their more recent writings of the last 140 to 200 years, Kabbalistic and stuff like that. So you see, before they can eradicate and erase it, you can see those things. And it's a very disease-oriented type thing, you know what I'm saying? Sharon, you're not a member yet, huh? Anyway, that is really discussing what is wrong with people. Well, you know what it is. Yeah, to the know. Yeah, exactly. Zionist mentality is a disease. They do the same. It's been said they do the same exactly. It's pretty dangerous. Especially when you come from. That's why I love baby comes through, you know. So it's like, how in the world, you know, when you've got to clean and change the poo and breastfeed and nurture to get them to a position not to be raised and torn down as majority have been. And you look at that and it's like, what is going on? And in there's you line and you had, and I know because we're in a time where chemicals and everything plays a major role, and it's sad. Where some of y'all looked at your sons or you looked at your daughters, and especially those who are stepfathers, you don't do that. That if you as a stepfather or stepmother, you get those children to be adults and you have been the nurturing factor, and to go off those are stories I want to read on here that if I get the Patreon hooked up, I will definitely read over there in the Jewish community. Anyway, right? Stepmommies and stepsons are getting it on like cracking a crack pipe, lighter to the homes, and it's really okay. But I want y'all to look at this as if you were in class, as far as sociology and psychology. I want you, without being so steep, and not just, I can't rob or take from you feelings and emotions, to look at it, and if you want to judge it, make sure that you're capable, and to ostracize it, make sure that you implicate it in the proper form that is rational. And you would say, well, how can I rationalize it? You can't rationalize something that is you have been taught to and nurtured or raised to believe is wrong. There's no way, but you can do it in a form that can be beneficial. It's just to help. If you may come across something like that, or if you see it without being over Karen or Ken like, you know, because sometimes Karen and Ken, they say something and 9 times out of 10, you know, it's way out of order, and it's whether racist, condescending, false trajectory based on politics or what's going on. All right, so not the sickle and the hammer. You're not the, you know what I mean? Everybody would be held accountable. Don't worry about that fake ass hell that they were pushing. All right, the fear bomb. There's some worse than that. But I want you to really look at that. And there's a lot more stories that I want to share. I really want to read. I'm gonna do that today. It's gonna be members. I don't know that becomes reading open. I'll read open. But anything I read after that is gonna be members. I just got to do it that way. And I'm really gonna put my mind into accents, language. I might even speak a little bit. Practicing some languages. Once you get on go, I'm on my thing. I'm like 15 minutes. I'm repeating these languages for a long time. You know? Whether I slip up or whatever, it'd be just wonderful. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there were rules yesterday. Yeah, I know. I didn't. I want the shock. You know. I actually want to have the shock factor. I don't want it to be overly burdensome. You know what I mean? Yesterday, one of my vids, no cussing and nothing like that. These idiots had to put a goal and talking about confirmed by review. I've confirmed the fact that they're not going to like the end of their existence, and I don't care what they've been told. That's 100% confirmed by my review. Regardless of that. These stories, I'm going to be telling some pretty cool ones too. I have a few that I learned from a couple of chiefs in first class when I was like an E4, right before I made E5. A lot of stories like fishing and stuff like that. Not about I caught one this big, you know what I'm saying? Not that. He got away. We're talking about some real serious travels and the guys went to Vietnam and like some of these stories. So incredible. I have a good friend who was he was a young chief and he was a Vietnam vet, 75, 74, 75. He still got to see some action. And I remember I was in the 80s. Okay, 10 to 12 years later, you know, guy's a chief in the Navy. You don't have to be in an army. So, and I used to listen to every story. And he's actually living in Vietnam with his 4 children. Big house, and using them. And they're all to be happy with his grandbabies and everything. One of the good stories, you know what I mean? Not a very bad, dark time, but some things that bring into question the motives behind whatever was done. So I'll share some of the stories. Commander Pike used to run marathons, got me running. Short guy. He told me a couple of stories when they were jogging and smelling a dead body, and it was somebody who was actually getting ready for the marathon and they couldn't pinpoint it. And he ran off the trail, and there the guy is in his running shorts, half dry, consumed maggots, and I mean, it's a lot of stories, but everything has a start, something to grasp, and you know I want to. So I want to be able to do this. I'm thinking about just writing like a 12-page something to read to people and put it out there to see about getting it published and all that. So, and kind of like, you know, fiction, you know what I mean? And fantasy. So, I really want to read a lot. Besides Beyond the Ice Wall, his travel, other things I'm reading. I read a lot of spy stuff, CIA books, let's get ideas when I'm writing stuff. I think it'll be fun, you know what I mean? And a lot of stories. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you all a little Sunday after a long, hard week, getting ready for tomorrow. That being the beginning of the so-called week. Don't be conflicted. Don't be walking around all day. What I read. Research the stuff. Don't go beating people up. Like, there's nothing to gain out of that. You have morals, you have laws, right? You stand on your foundation and then don't allow anything. What am I doing? I'm not desensitizing you. I'm allowing you to be able to, I'm giving you the premises and I guess instruction or direction maybe, where your focus doesn't have to be so dramatic. But you can look at it, and you can look at it, and if you're the judge, you can sit there and go, oh, that's wrong, they shouldn't have done it, blah, 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 blah. Well, we already know that in this existence, morally, we find it not right, because that's the extent of the portraits that have been painted and given to the majority of us. Me, I see things a little different. I don't agree with it, but I know some real history. If you want to talk about the Adam and Eve type thing, and that's a whole nother dynamic. There's no Adam and damn Eve as prescribed. Yet, there's always a first of anything. And after that, you eradicate it and you create from there. Possibly. All right? But I just want y'all to think about that. The story about the guy Garcia, 51 years old, that's a real story. Research that. I think it was 3 days ago or something like that. They actually had pictures off the camera of the car, the train car, which is it's disturbing that, you know, with anything going down, when you think of a Fruitville station and the goofy cop killing the guy who wasn't fighting back, you would think that they would have been on it. Whenever we had issues, by the time the train pulled up, we done flex cuff, ziplock, you know, and we don't about 5 individuals, and we're detaining them, and the cops, they right there. So that was when there was really that many, you know, cameras on the train cars. So they're there. Somebody called ahead. We had radios, and they would take them into custody. So it makes it's your government, from what I've been studying and seeing, ADL, APAC, are pushing to create a civil war here. And you should be able to see that. Now, I am reading, so there's always a method to the madness. It's to elevate, I guess you could say, like Tachi Chuan. You get your energy flowing in a different direction that's not contaminated by all the visual things that are out of context of your existence, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Oh, absolutely, sis. I know it's usually a whole lot of things. But it's not really when you start getting down to the your existence. If there are those who want to speak, and if they're giving something that may be of assistance, helpful, I always say take that helpful, take it and utilize it as a resource. You don't have to use it for evil. You know, I have $1 trillion. You know, it doesn't have to be. Take over, control the world. See, those up here that create all this stuff, they really look down at you like ants. You know what I'm saying? To make sure you're in a deplorable state. So, as I stated long before, is for you to elevate yourself. It is not for you to control. I could shape culture, event, and fairs. Yes, culture. I could change the whole dynamic out with this stuff. No, it's not like that. You are the culture. You need to remember that. It is for you to get outside yourself to correct the inside of yourself. You know what I mean? Can y'all still hear me? It's not sticky or anything, because I'm talking about some sticky stuff here. It's good around here, boys. Oh man, we jumping on me. Damn, jumping splat. Jumping on me. Jumped on me and jumped back up on the side of the solar belt or something. I was waiting for somebody to respond. Can y'all hear me? Is it the wind? Is the wind too much, or? It's 11. I don't see anybody saying. 1, if you can hear me. 2, if it's, I'm not speaking loud enough. All right, Danny. Yes, Ken. There's nothing wrong with the C's. There's too many of them. 1, if you can hear me. Send. 1. Send. 1. Send. Thank you, Black Flag. And I got my people in here, and they can't even hit damn one. Ain't that about it? New Year's babies. Thank you. But anyway, you can Google that information, and the other videos and members, y'all can speak on those videos. Some people do. I was on Nabi's earlier video. She had a pretty good, nice one. I saw Carrie there. Oh, the real big prayer. Hey, appreciate that. It was really good. You know what I'm saying? Kira Meals got a really good one up too as well. Okay. Westside had a good point made. Oh, I was hoping he had a video up, but I'm not getting notification even though it's set up, so I don't even know they're doing anything. I hope y'all don't mind. I have, like I said, let me make sure before I later on I'm going to set up to read what I haven't read now. So we have 10 stories, all right, the new stories, okay, out of 2024 that will leave you shaking your head, okay. And then we have about a total of 20, but we're going to read just 10 stories in short, each about a paragraph or so. And then there's there's one really good one that I asked the AI for, and it was based off something I could not remember. So it gave me the story. I didn't want to give you footnote clues and all that stuff. I'm just going to read the story. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Wendy. Oh man, about 17, 18, man. Outside of my head, I feel like I'm doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I don't have cauliflower in, but it used to be swollen. And then you have 17 real ghost stories that I'm going to have to read because I enjoy ghost stories. I hope you do too. You know what I mean? So it's about 28 stories. Okay. So later on, I'm gonna read the 10, but I'm also gonna read Claudio Naselli on Argentine. I'm gonna read another chapter on his trip to the ice wall, and then we'll get into the 10 stories, and then that's gonna be pretty much it. You leave it in the comments or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I love stories, man. It doesn't matter what kind it is. And a lot of times those stories, some of you might have a relationship to the story, like in some kind of way, okay? So hopefully I can become better at storytelling. I can give you a foundation, get something that grabs you, and then give you a little focus and direction, and then do whatever it is, whether it's the upside your head, behind the door, or that grab you in the tub kind of, you know what I mean? I want to, it's not a need. I want to be able to grab you and you be able to tell a story and share it. And there are going to be stories that are out there and available. There's lots of them. I'm just looking at the 28 that I'm going to read to you. There are so many more. There are some about Poughkeepsie, about the lighthouses. There's like Ghost in the Spirit type thing, castaways, crashes, Amelia Earhart, newer revelations and information. Like I like stories like that. You know what I mean? I really, really do. All right. But I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to a fool like me. Help you get something out of it. All right. We can all relax. Just take it easy. You know. I'm waiting on Ring and Cedars. Yeah. I know you. I got to dig all those out. I'll probably get those out of there today. All right. I'm just gonna be on the road, get some orientation training and stuff like that. I'm waiting on Omek so I can get down there and we can be down there working with him. With the weather and everything. pop down there for a week, whatever, work with him, get some pay, you know, and he'll pop back up. But you know, we don't want to take from bills, especially like certain jobs. So we're gonna wait for the big jobs to come through, and then you know, I'm waiting on my GI Bill. When you pay into it, you don't pay it into it. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you didn't use it. You can always, you got to jump through some hoops. It's there. I want to use it now. So I'll use that to get my CDL back. And I'll probably work local. Yeah, I can't be all over the roads. One, because you never know. I might be like, got to hit the emergency room. That doesn't get the job done. You know what I mean? If that be the case. I'm not speaking that kind of energy. I mean, if this was 2 years down the road, and me not on this damn medication, you know, you can't take something for 20 years that is damning. They should never be given it in the first place. That's what I'm saying. It's a real disease, this medical industry. But whenever you kick something like that, it has, you know what I mean? You know, it has its effects. My thing is to study them, utilize what I can without creating more harm. I'm not worried about it. I don't fear fucking y'all's death. You don't die. You learn that, you'll see yourself. Yeah, that's another story I can tell. And you know I have a great story to tell, like I should say. I don't like the word great. I'm not bigging up myself. It's just a story that has to be told. Balance, man. You know. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna take this shit, put it back in there before this stuff be blowing my lap. You know, looking like blueberries and raspberries. I have a Cashapp if anybody want to donate. Right now I'm using it all for screws. I still got to get a router. All right. Hell, if you got a cheap one, you can send it to me. My PO box and my Gmail's in there. If you want to ask to talk to me and I give you my number, you didn't call me. That's usually around the 24th. I don't make phone calls. They're trying to charge me for a bill. That's what's paid, and I'm not playing it with a bunch of new hires who are stupid by a machine. And I ain't got time to be sitting there deliberating and debating with a bunch of knuckleheads and idiots who don't know no better. You know what I mean? I just don't do it. I appreciate that, hon. It's right there, Jason. Yeah, it's right there. I appreciate you guys. I'm waiting on the book, and when I show you this book, I didn't tell you, these. I didn't tell you. I'm going to show it because you probably get it before I get it. So it should be here tomorrow. And I'm going to, and when it comes in, when I come on, this book this is one out of another three. Now, the Reading Cedars, when you want to know about Tartary, that whole series, I still got like 3 books to read, but let me tell you something. One about life. Oh, my goodness. I have the Reading Cedars, y'all, and that is a very expensive. That story is inseparable. I'm surprised it didn't blow up like moon. Anyway, y'all heard it, goddamn. That one ain't playing up one. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start reading. I hope you like the little stories, and it's gonna be all right. Okay. Let's get out of the dichotomy of crayon colors and fictional history and existence, racist ideologies. Doesn't matter who did what or made what. Let's pull it together, right? And because they're not going to stop.